matter where you are either on that scale of outward beauty, every girl has moments of feeling not pretty and has that opportunity to either look at somebody else and compare or be inspired and use it for good.
The victim mindset is like really heavy, dark place to be. Just a simple mindset shift can do so much for your future.
It's really good to have the acronym SMART in your mind. A SMART goal is... Welcome to the Pretty Sister podcast. I'm your host, Cailee Steuer. So happy that you're here today. This is a place of friendship, sisterhood, and a whole lot of fun. And I've got fun planned for you today because I have some fantastic people here. I'm a little partial because these are some of my key people in life. I'm going to start right here. This is my daughter, Taylor Steuer, is back on the show. So happy to have her. You do?
Yeah.
And then I've got September Smith and her daughter, Cailee Smith. So this is a mother-daughter conversation.
Duo.
And we are thrilled to be having it. September and I have grown up as best friends for almost 40 years. I used to say over 30, but she's like, it's really almost 40. So we'll just own it. We'll own it. We'll own our age because why not? We're just aging like fine wine, right?
Yes.
We're dying. And then we have these beautiful daughters that have grown up as friends. And especially more recently because we live closer than, we actually they grew up on different parts of the country, but we live all in the same area now. And so they get to be besties as well.
Yeah.
It warms our mother hearts, doesn't it?
There's repeating history.
Yes.
With you guys.
Yes. Just dreams coming true all around. And speaking of dreams coming true, it's the new year. Welcome 2025. We're so excited. I love a new year. Do you girls love a new year?
Yes.
Yeah, reset. Yes.
A good reset.
A reset. We hit the reset button, boom, and we get a fresh start. So with this fresh start, that's what we're talking about. We're going to have a fun conversation today. It's going to be almost like a live workshop that you can listen in on, because one of the things I've always loved to do with my kids at the new year is set goals with them and have them think about their new year and the things they want to accomplish. And sometimes I think it felt like a chore, maybe.
Sometimes when we were really little.
Sit down and make your goals.
Yes, but they were really little. But I don't know, you're a goal setter now.
Now I love it.
Yeah, she's a big goal setter, goal achiever.
Now I don't wait till the new year always.
I think it's really fun I've had like vision board parties with friends. I think we should do that again. I always love like getting a bunch of magazines or making a Pinterest board and printing out the pictures and then like putting all your goals and visions for the next year on there and having it up and being able to look at it all year too, like really helps manifest it.
Yeah, that is a very powerful tool because our brains are, well, everybody thinks differently, but the power of visualization is super real. And so
I think that's why I love it with manifesting, like the whole manifesting. I mean, I just think it's so exciting. You can set goals anytime and manifest all throughout the year, but to be able to have a brand new, fresh start, reset, and then put those goals out there and then think, I'm going to put this here and somehow I'm going to formulate a plan. It's going to come to fruition. It's very, very exciting because I believe anything that you put out there and you work towards, you will accomplish. Like it's super, super exciting, especially visually to see.
Yes, I love it. Hopefully we're giving you some ideas already. Okay, we're going to just chat about this. All things new year, ideas that you have, things that have been your favorite. But to kick us off, because this is one of my favorite exercises, and as you girls think of other ones, we can talk about them too. But and I mentioned this at the end of last week's podcast, so if you've heard that, you've hopefully been thinking about it. But one thing I'd love to do is look at the last 10 years. So first take a bigger view, because sometimes we need to take a bigger view to be able to really see what we've accomplished. I think it's worthwhile to, before we're thinking about the future, just take a look at the past and be proud of ourselves for a minute. And revel in the idea of like, wow, look what I've accomplished, because it can be lost on you and you may not remember how amazing you are. But when you take that big view back and you can pull out things that you've accomplished, then it helps you to remember, oh, wow, I actually can get stuff done. Look what I've accomplished. Look what I've done. And when you go 10 years back, you can also kind of, if you've had an off year or whatever, just several. Several off years. You still get a chance. But sometimes you might have an explosive year, which in this group, we've had some explosive years. So we want to talk about that too. Cailee knows I'm coming for her on that one.
Oh, no.
But, so this is the assignment, and we're going to chat about it. But you at home, you might even want to take more time to do this, or maybe you could just do it right now with us. But look at the past 10 years and write down 10 things you're proud of that you accomplished. That's not hard, right? That's just pulling one from each year, or it doesn't have to be done that way. It can just be anything in the past 10 years, 10 things. So just write down a list, write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and fill them out. Then the next part of that exercise is then you look 10 years forward. So now again, we're taking that big view into the future of what we want to accomplish and what are 10 big goals or dreams that you want to do in the next 10 years. Gives you a lot of time and space to really play in the sandbox, so to speak. So let's do that first, and then we'll come back to bringing it a little bit closer. So who wants me to pick them in first? Who wants to just, and not that you have to rattle off 10 things, but what's a couple things, Taylor, I'm going to come to you, because there's some big things that you've accomplished in 10 years. I mean, one of them being you graduated from college.
Yeah, I did.
And that was big. That's a big item.
Yeah.
Are you proud of that?
I am proud of that. It's funny, I'm not currently working with my degree, but I had it.
Well, you have a business degree and you're a real estate agent. So that's another accomplishment.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's really good. Never mind. But that's an overall of business. I think it's relevant.
Yeah. I think if I look back on the last 10 years, and I think to the point of why you do this exercise, is one of the things that I'm most proud of that I've accomplished in my life was back when I was in high school, and that was publishing my first book. And I think when I made that goal, I was young. I started writing when I was in 8th grade and had the goal to publish it before I graduated. And that was just a silly thing that I wanted to do. But in that process of manifesting that goal and making it happen and realizing that dream, I fell in love with writing in a way that I never thought I would in my life. And that changed, I feel like, who I am. And it's something that I want to do the rest of my life. And now looking towards the future, I have goals to publish more books. And that was something that creating a goal, looking to what's something I want to accomplish, how that directly impacted the rest of my life and all the things that I want to do moving forward.
Well, it probably made you a better student as you were getting your degree, and then getting your degree is helping you in real estate. Like all of those things layer each other, right? That one huge goal, I think that's huge to publish a book.
Yeah, I do too, and I really appreciate it this year because I've been working on a book this year. And until you really, I always was super proud of her for doing it, and I would edit and help her,
this is a lot of work.
But until you actually try to do it yourself, and wow, respect.
Yeah, seriously.
I told her, I'm at the end of it now, and just because I set the goal for for this year was to write this book. And now here we are. At the end of the year, and I'm just still pushing through and trying to, we're at the beginning of the year, I guess I'm still just trying to get it finalized. I finished writing by the end of last year, and then now I'm pushing through to the final touches and stuff. So I feel like I kind of can I still count it that I did it? Of course. I'm giving ourselves all the credit.
And the goal this year is getting it published.
Yes, exactly. It's hard stuff.
That's awesome.
Good job. Good job to me.
Yeah.
Okay, coming over to you, Cailee. Let's just talk about. Okay. We can talk about 10 years for you, but we could also just blow everybody's mind with what you've accomplished in 1 year. You might need your mom.
I feel like I'm
because you're so modest.
I know. Let's see.
It's been a big year for you.
It has been a really big year of growth and change for me. And a year ago I got divorced, and so I did a lot of therapy and healing through that. I think that is a big accomplishment because I've come a long way from there.
Like to stick with it.
Yeah, and seeking out healthy relationships and being able to now like be in a really great healthy relationship and being able to set boundaries and all of the good things that come with that. And I graduated nursing school a few years ago, but this year I'm graduating with my bachelor's, and I got my dream job in labor and delivery, which I love. And
to deliver babies.
Yes.
Little miracle moments.
It's a perfect job for me. I love it. Yeah. What else? We trained for. Well, she did a full marathon.
Yeah.
I opted out of that one.
Okay.
But we did 2 halves.
She hated running.
I
Never
absolutely
ran more than like a mile, and she ran 2 half marathons.
Yeah, we trained for months, and
That's amazing. Okay, I just can't let you guys gloss over that. I just want to say I think it's so incredible on many levels. Here's my thought on this. One, September, you used to run marathons back in the day, but it had been what,
18 years.
18 years since she had run one.
And I didn't think I could do it anymore. I was like, I kind of had some knee issues, and I honestly, when I started, I couldn't run more than a mile. And so I just kind of was like, I want to see if I can do it.
And so she was serious about it. So you got one of our friends that runs and asked her to help train so that they can do it safely and responsibly.
And we met with a trainer twice a week to strengthen so that our running muscles and everything was super strong.
And I'll admit, I was invited to participate and I did not, because I was not ready for this.
As well.
I have 3 good goals on my plate, but
Not for me.
I'm working on right
it's not
now.
for me anymore. The running era is over.
There's a time and a season for everything. So I major props to both of you, because I didn't do it. I had the option and I was like, no, thank you. But the fact that you both went from not running at all to just pumping out a marathon and a half marathon while going through so many other transformative experiences and things, I think it's amazing.
Big year.
And I
bought a dream car.
Yeah. I
got
my
your own
apartment.
and got yourself settled, which was kind of big and scary. I mean, these are all, we're kind of just throwing them out, but each one alone is transformative.
Mm-hmm.
But I love the mother-daughter support that I watched happen. I love that you did that together. I love, September, that you hadn't done it for 18 years. You're like, I'm going to help my daughter. This is when we can do it. And I think that when you're going through hard things, which Cailee has gone through, it was, transforming herself over. I watched you do it on so many levels, from tackling the emotions, tackling your physical health, your financial. You covered all the spectrums as you did this whole life transformation, and you were willing to dig in and do the deep, hard work. And you did it without any, this is what I love, that I want people to really realize too, is that you can do that with so much grace and kindness, because not at one point did I see you take a victim, role or status. There wasn't a lot of blame. There wasn't negativity and like, what was me? It was very much like, okay, here I am. This is my situation. And now I'm going to transform myself.
She didn't want to be in that space anymore.
I got really tired of being in that, because the victim mindset is really heavy, dark place to be. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. This is not who I want to be, and I can do better. And I think my life coach that I was going to really helped me to flip that mindset too.
Yeah.
And I would go and be like, I hate this and I'm so over it. And I just want to do all these things to not pay any more attention to that anymore. I'm not that person anymore. Focus on who I am now and in the future, who I want to be. And I think just a simple mindset shift can do so much for your future and setting goals and going forward. And my mom has always been so encouraging for literally ever since we were little babies. She has just told us how amazing we are, how we can do it, how we can do hard things, and has just been such a good support and drive in my life. Where it just seems like I've gone through a lot of really hard things over the past 7-8 years, and she has really been my solid rock through, just like encouraging me to keep going. And so it's really important to have that support there and people that are in your corner and that like really want what's best for you and believing you too, because it's really easy to lose track or lose sight of what you see in yourself when you are just going through hard things. And so
we all need a support system. We all need our pretty sisters, right?
yes.
I mean, it does. Life is better when you go through life with friends and with people who love you, who can, cheer you on in the process, because, you just said, okay, I've gone through some hard things, beautiful things in the last 70 years, but when you're looking back at that last 10 years, you see some hard things. But now, having come through it so beautifully, haven't they shaped you and defined you in ways that you couldn't have imagined?
Yeah. It's so hard to see that when you're there, but it really does change, like being able just to sit in it for a minute and then be like, okay, I'm over it. Like, I want to be better and I want to have this type of life. And yeah.
And I think that's the beauty of looking back over the last 10 years, because you do see the hard, but then you see all the things you accomplished as well. And it can give you hope for the future to know, yeah, there are going to be hard things that I'm going to face in the future, because that never goes away. But I can still accomplish all these things in spite of those
And there's
hardships.
always blessings that come from those things too. Yeah. Let's see.
And hopefully too, and I agree, like this is why we're doing the exercise, because it gets you in this feeling of, oh, look what I've done and what I've accomplished, so that you're ready for the future. But I think, and I heard this comment made the other day by somebody that had gone through some hard things, that she was feeling like, okay, so I just finished that hard stuff, so hopefully I'm done. Like, hopefully it's over. And I was thinking, oh, boy.
Yeah.
Having lived longer than you, I didn't actually fully rain on her parade, but I'll rain on all of yours. For listening. Because I had that thought too. I remember being young and going through some hard things and thinking, whew, okay, I did it early. Now the rest of life will just be like, I got it over with, and it's going to be easy because now I'm strong and I'm ready. And then every time something else hard would happen, I was like, well, wait a minute, that's not fair. I already did everything. And I just realized now, fast forward another 30 years of experience, I was like, oh, okay, now I have a better understanding that just life is hard. But the more we can reconcile with that and accept it as a beautiful thing, not in a begrudgingly bad way, like not in a pessimistic way, but just in this, like now I sort of think life is hard and it's supposed to be hard, but it's also, I'm the first person to say life is fun and life is happy and have a positive attitude, because when you can have both in a healthy way, then when the hard happens, you're like, yeah, bring it on. I mean, I'm strong. I'm prepared for this.
You have the tools and you're more equipped to handle it.
Yeah, I'd be like, my son who works out all the time, he probably wouldn't be intimidated to lift something heavy because you're prepared, you've got the strength. I've got the muscles, I can do this. And I think the more we go through challenges and just do it gracefully and accept them and pull out our tools from our tool belt when we get there and just tackle it, then when the next thing comes, you're like, yeah, I got this, I'm ready for this.
I think that's a beautiful thing when you do go through hard things. It's hard when you're in it to think this way, but when you come through it, you go, I own this. Like, I did this and I own it. And
it's bigger than the challenge.
Yeah, I'm bigger than the challenge, and I own what I went through and how I handled it. And it can also be consecrated for your good, which is actually a really, really beautiful thing. If you don't become a victim, if you let it shape you, if you let it, not that it is who you are, whatever you went through, but I think it can be consecrated for our good and become something really beautiful. And that's how we become stronger and our character is shaped and how we can become a really beautiful person.
And the gifts from those hard things are who you are, right? You get, and those are your medals, your badges of honor from what you've experienced and the insights and the knowledge that you now can carry forward into the next week.
And the empathy for other people. When you've gone through hard things and all of a sudden just reframes and shapes everything, where you're like, when someone else has gone through that, you can go to them and say, I know how to help you. And you have empathy and passion for that person.
Yes.
So
that's so many gifts. Okay. Well, should we start looking forward, ladies?
Yeah.
Yes. I'm like emotional over here. It's called PMS.
Well, you're a softie anyway.
Yeah. We got our soft, sweet center there. Center. Okay. Yeah. The next assignment was to look forward 10 years and thinking by what are 10 big things that you want to accomplish the next 10 years. So, or did I hit on you, September?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I don't even know if
Do you have, I mean, this is fun because like 10 years, you can kind of throw out whatever. And I want to say this too, for those of you who are perfectionists who maybe are intimidated by putting it down on paper because then you're going to hold yourself to it. Yes, you want to, here's my perspective on that. You want to put it down and you want to do everything you can to accomplish it. But guess what? You can change your mind.
right.
You know, you can change your mind. You can rewrite your dreams. You can redo this list. You can, you have the flexibility to change. In fact, I keep mine in a notes, in my phone. It's just one of my notes. It's my dream list. And so I have my 10 things there. And I revisit it every year on my birthday. Is one of my favorite things to do because I love to dream. In fact, I wanted to have a big sign on the table that says dream, but I was vetoed on that by my beautiful daughter who wants the picture to look better. That's okay.
I'm crushing her dreams.
Logistics.
No, but I love to dream. And so on my birthday, I indulge myself in my dream list. So for sure I do it at the beginning of the year. And then my birthday's in the middle into the summer. So kind of mid-year, I'm pulling out that dream list. And if I'm being honest, I do pull it out on date nights often too. So
You can talk about it.
Now I know where I get it from.
Yeah, I do actually probably like to look at it all year long. Not being truly honest, but you guys can do it just twice a year on your birthday and the beginning of the year if you'd like. But you pull the 10 things out, and you just kind of, if you need to edit it. Just kind of always have your mind looking towards the future. And I also do have my past list that I can look at too, because if I'm sad or if I want to just feel good about myself, I'll look at my past 10 years too. Okay, now you know the truth. You have truth. But looking ahead, September, what would be like?
In 10 years, over the next 10 years, I want to be, both my husband and I have talked about this. We want to be really healthy as we get older, both physically and our minds. We want to be super healthy so we can be active together. We want to travel together. We want to go on missions together. I hope to have a ton of grandkids. And just be living my best. Grandma Gigi is going to be my grandma name. My best grandma life.
I know when.
What?
You have the goal to visit all of the national parks.
Yes.
And
I
so in
do.
10 years, you should have that done.
Yes. And you said you would join.
And I have just now started. September got me one of the maps and a passport.
Yes, national parks passport. Yes. Stay. So we live in nerdy in our national park era. But
when you get old, you can do that too.
Yes. My husband and I love to travel, so we'll travel more.
So I'm going to give you some tips on goal setting like this and dreaming, because I just thought of it. It's really good to have the acronym SMART in your mind. So a SMART goal is specific, measurable, attainable, are relevant, and time bound. So
I like that.
just be thinking about that, because it's one thing when September says, "Oh, I want to travel." Okay, well you could write that down, but getting more specific would be to say, okay, I want to, one of her travel goals could be, I want to hit these 50,
right?
Or how are we 60, all the national parks in the United States. That's now specific, right?
Right.
And I want to do that, within the next 10 years. Something now that's time bound. It's measurable because she's got the passport and she's stamping them as she goes. That makes it very tangible, and you can celebrate that, and you can see your progress as you go. So that's really fun.
I don't know that that's a huge accomplishment, but it's fun.
It's a good accomplishment. And it's very, it's needing this.
We'll bring our grandkids along, any of our kids that want to join, Callie and Dave.
Yeah, I think anything that is creating memories. And I love what your husband Doug said to me. We were recently traveling on the last trip we went together. And he's so wowed by things. We had gone to National Park in Maine.
Yes.
And we were talking to him about why he's doing this. And this is when you were, getting us on board.
Yes.
But I love what he said. He said, God went into all this trouble to create all these beautiful things all over the world. The least I can do is take the time to go see it.
He actually really
that's so
It
so
feels like it's
cute.
his
duty.
And
He has a huge map in his office too of like places that he's gonna go with just him and my mom or family where we've already been, like, and they're all like color coordinated little pins. But yeah, those are his dreams. Is to even go by himself, like leave my mom sometimes, go to like
if I
3
go on a-
casual
if I go
countries.
on a
Just-
girls trip and it's a place I don't want to go, he'll go there for like a night or 2 days, like a really quick trip so it can cross it off.
But also you see and appreciate it. It's his way of honoring God. And it's like
You feel
it's
very
like-
strongly about that.
Yeah. And so when he said that, I was like, okay, I want to respect God too. I want to see his creations. I want to have that same type of awe that you're experiencing. Awe is powerful. So I was like, give me the passport. I'm in. I'm there.
Yes.
Okay, coming around to you, Callie.
Okay.
What are some dreams you have?
I don't know if it's because of where I work. I've been super baby hungry, and I know Taylor is too a little bit. We're kind of entering into that era,
Oh, shoot.
and you guys are baby hungry for kids. But I would really love to be in a healthy marriage and to start having kids like pretty quickly, and be in a beautiful home that we just love and are comfortable in, and get to spend time with family a lot and travel. What else? I am planning on getting my nurse practitioner license too, so that'll be a few more years. So maybe not. And these are just for the next 10 years of having that. And we've talked about having our own medical spa one day. I think that's a great goal to have. And I don't know what else.
That's a lot of
That's a lot of dreams.
And actually, I always say about Cailee, if she decides she's going to do something, she does it.
Yes.
Yeah. She's very,
A lot of grit.
yes, she's
Thank
very, ever since she was little, I call her tenacious.
Yeah.
Because she just decides and she does it.
A little shout out to all you younger people at this age and generation and what's ahead of you. Were you September? She said all that getting a little tired for her. No.
I'm like so excited.
I mean, it's so exciting. I don't want to put a damper on any excitement for that. But I guess there's just that part of that's what we're going to be realized. I mean, that's because we've already done that, and it is hard. I guess I just want to acknowledge that anyone who's in that stage of having little kids, and I'm sure many of you listening are there. It's a lot of work, and it's a lot of hard, and it's a lot of amazing and miracles and wonderful things. And then you get the blessings of these adult girls and children that are going to give you grandbabies. So it's definitely worth the journey, but props and hats off to you because it's going to be a grind for 10 years. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. Giddy up.
tired because you
I do feel
Probably
exhausted.
20 years because once you have those kids, they're around for like
Cailee's been tired for years.
Yeah, it's not over yet. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the reality of life. Like that we were saying before, it's hard. It's tiring. Like accomplishing all that can feel tiring. But honor that because you're gonna even after you set all the goals and you put them to paper, you get really excited about it. Then there's there's the doing it, and you lose motivation, and then you sometimes feel really motivated, and it comes and it goes. And so that's where you have to really have some skills to be able to stay on top of things, which we can't cover all of that. So the other things we'll talk about throughout the year and make sure we're giving you some ways to stay motivated, ways to utilize and work with willpower that does run out, and so that you can have that stamina and have that great determination to get through the hard and get through accomplishing your dreams. And my belief is that you do that really, really well. And the secret weapons of my mindset, of my experience, has been doing it with the assistance and support of my community sisters, of friends, because you don't always feel like doing stuff.
So true. Every day I'm like, okay, here we go.
But I have had many times where I've, either not felt good about myself or not felt like I could do something or just had you have off days. But when you create a network and support system of good girlfriends, and yes, you have family and spouses and there's all kinds of people in your life that can support you, but there's nothing like good girlfriends. Nothing like it.
I think I'm getting your names, Cailee, Callie. I always get you guys mixed up when we're together, but I think you're superhuman because to me, I think you can accomplish anything. I mean, I'm just like,
all can, right?
well, no, but I really believe that like you're such a dreamer and then you go out and accomplish whatever you set out to do. So when I look at you, I'm like, wow, she has those superpowers and she can just,
That's what I'm talking about. This is
Callie is magic. Callie is magic.
Fill my cup. Yeah.
This is September guys for me. I've been best friends for months because you built me up for all these years. Okay, I'm going to tell you a little, and then we're coming to you. So I'm giving you some warnings to think while I tell this little story that just popped in my head. Okay, it's a sneak peek into my book, actually.
Oh, okay.
So the book that I wrote that's going to be coming out is Think Like a Pretty Sister, 5 Beliefs That Promise Friendship, Love, and Happiness. Okay. Unless the title changes. But it's the current one.
Yeah.
Anyway, pretty sure. But I have a chapter that's kind of dedicated to September. You haven't read it yet, but I'm not great. You'll get to know before it goes to publish. But so the concept is teaching everybody that you're a pretty sister, that we're all beautiful and pretty and divine qualities, all of these things. But there's another chapter that's titled She's Pretty Too. So the concept here is, so is everybody else. Like, you're amazing, but your sisters, your friends, everyone else is amazing too. And you have to have a healthy respect for that.
Right.
And I think the sooner in life that you can appreciate your girlfriends and see them as beautiful and amazing and not in a competitive way, but in a, they're awesome. And their awesomeness makes me awesome by association. I think we need more of that. Because I think when you look at some of the problems that young girls have, and you girls might want to speak to this, when you're looking on social media and being jealous or feeling less than because of it, there's a lot of mental issues and depression that can come from it. Versus if you see what they're doing and it's like, oh, I'm so happy for them, and oh wow, they're doing that, so it gives me the idea that I can too. That's a whole different feeling. So my inspiration for that was for the chapter She's Pretty Too is September's pretty too. But you're the story I was telling that. Because when we were young girls and as young girls, you have self-esteem, battles and struggles. But September moved in and was just this beautiful girl that I wanted to be friends with. And then you became friends and best friends. And we just kind of, we're inseparable and have been ever since for almost 40 years. And we have an amazing group of friends too. So it's not just September, but September was just strikingly beautiful and was famous for that. And you can see that too in Cailee as well. And Taylor, I mean, this is a pretty group of girls. But instead of letting that be something that made me feel less than, instead I embraced her beauty. It was like, oh, and not in a weird way, guys, but picture this. Okay, if all of the guys want to be around the cute girl and you're best friends with the cute girl, guess what? They want to be around cute girl too, right? I mean, it's by association.
Yes.
You're laughing at me.
No, but it's true.
But it's true. Let's just be honest here. And so I could have felt less than, but I didn't. It was like, yes, September's going to be there, and you would leave with that information.
Oh my gosh.
You would leave with that, because then it's like, well, then the guys want to show up. Okay, so that's just me being raw and honest. But this is true. This happens with
Not with us, but
that's my outlet.
well, that says a lot about who you are, because a lot of girls lead pretty girls out because they don't want to.
And
They don't want to compete.
They don't want to. And I want to
But you
change
removed
that.
the competition.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not, we don't have to see them as competition. We can embrace the pretty girls. And And I don't know. I mean, this isn't all about pretty on the outside. It's so much more about pretty on the inside. But there are pretty girls on the outside. Case in point. And so when you have,
You're acting like you were some troll.
Oh my god.
Beautiful. And all the guys love you too.
okay,
Like,
fine. So true, not true. That's so true. No.
Own it, Callie.
No,
I get what you're saying.
Yes, I'm not wanting to be like pump myself up or be self-deprecating. I'm not trying to do that, but I'm trying to just kind of make an honest point here that no matter where you are, either on that scale of outward beauty, every girl has moments of feeling not pretty.
Yes.
And has that opportunity to either look at somebody else and compare or be inspired and use it for good. And it doesn't matter where you are on the scale. I just think that even you, September, who has always been outwardly beautiful and inwardly beautiful, I will say, in every single way, which is, I think, really what attracts, it is at the basis of our friendship. But if we're just looking at outwardly beautiful, have you had days where you don't feel pretty?
Absolutely.
Exactly. It does not matter how pretty you are. So I guess that's one key point. It doesn't matter how pretty you are. But when we can just own our prettiness and then honor and own the other person's prettiness and just know you're pretty, but she's pretty too. And how do we deal with that?
Right.
Let's use it for our good. Let's run with it. Let's find ways to embrace it. Let's let it inspire us. That's kind of the point of this chapter.
Right. And I think you have to work on yourself personally so that you can see all that good in other people and want to champion and support and see all the best in somebody else.
Yep.
Like if you don't feel good about yourself, you're not going to see good in anybody else.
Right.
It's true. It's a very sad way to live.
Yes, but it is so much more fun when you can look around and see what other people are doing and just want to honor them and be excited for them.
And be a girl's girl that you're just trying to be super excited and pump somebody else up and be excited for them.
Yeah.
Yes. Girls.
Yes. Be a girl's girl. At any stage of life, like to have other people celebrate you and honor you or recognize what you're doing feels good. So let's just
there's room at the table for everyone to be successful. Yes. Even if someone's if I decided to write a book, you wouldn't be like, oh my gosh, September 12th.
But I wrote a book.
Or Taylor, oh my gosh, I wrote the book first and now mom's copied me. Like, there's room for everyone to write a book.
Yes, everyone should write your story or do
like anything that you're accomplishing. Don't have an attitude about it like someone's trying to compete with you. Just be excited about wherever someone is at, whatever they're trying to accomplish. Get behind them and be excited for them and try and find a way to support them.
It's like this podcast. I've had, I've invited someone on the podcast and they said, oh, I want to start a podcast too.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Do it. Yeah. I'm figuring it out. You figure it out.
Yes.
All the podcasts.
Yes. But you could have the attitude like, oh my gosh, like I invited her on. Now she's doing her own, like.
Yeah, that could be threatening. But I don't see it that way. I see it as, more people putting positive things out there and seeing their message.
Well, and you're delivering something that only you can deliver. And her podcast is going to be something that only she can. And there's room at the table for everyone. That's how we need to look at things.
And I'm speaking to the people who want to talk about pretty sisters and friendship and fun and, whatever she's going to talk about is going to find the people that want to hear and talk about that. And we can all do it. Okay. Did I give you enough time, Taylor? On that rant that went forever. Sorry.
Yes.
Okay. What are you dreaming up?
Well, I think Cailee touched on a lot of similar dreams that we have. We're in the next phase of life where we are thinking about starting families and what that entails. And I feel like thinking about starting a family means I also want to find a bigger home and just move up in these next stages. That goes to my other dream. I do. This past year, I got my real estate license and have started working in real estate. So I do want to build my network and see success in real estate. And then with my book, I wrote the first book, which was left on a cliffhanger. So I want to finish that.
It's Infinite. You can go find it. It's amazing. It's actually so good. It's on Amazon, right?
Yeah, it's on Amazon.
I didn't know it was on Amazon.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so I want to finish that series.
Coming out. It did leave us a big cliffhanger.
It's a big cliffhanger.
A
And
lot of people asking, like, what happens next?
And I have no idea of a book series that I feel like almost feels like a calling in life. Like I have to write this series and I need closure first on the other one. So I need to finish that before I can start the next one. But if I'm looking in 10 years, I will have started the next one.
I think you will have be a few books into the next one in 10 years. Just, I mean, as the mother knowing this child who's very oriented, you'll probably
Definitely.
pump out a book or two. Pump out a child, pump out a book, child book, everything like that.
Variety.
Yeah. So that's some of my big goals. And I also want to travel. So I think one thing that I've always respected about my mom and grew up appreciative of is that we grew up traveling, and she never let having small children or the craziness of life stop her from realizing that dream of you wanting to travel. And so that's something I want to carry on, of going on dream trips and knowing that I can take my kids and not let that stop me from realizing those dreams
Giving
of
them those
continuing to
experiences too. It's all generational, the dreams. Yep.
I think travel is a gift to have your children to be able to see the world in a different way.
As experience. Yeah, absolutely. And to what you said too, like the dreams, kind of it's generational that you're seeing. I think if you're wondering, anyone out there who's listening, if you feel maybe selfish for going, trying something, or that maybe you're in a season of life where you are feeling like you're more needed in other ways, I want to say to you, you should always keep dreaming and working on your dreams. Yes, you're in stages of life that you have to serve or mother or do some things more, but carve out some time for you to work on yourself and the things that you want to do. And it's not selfish to do so. It's self-care. It's going to help you to be healthier and to be a better mom, be a better partner, be a better employee, whatever it is that you're doing. If you're working on your dreams along the way, several things happen. One, your kids learn from you. Like you've said, the fact that I never stopped dreaming and working on things gives you permission to do the same, right? Yeah. And I love that you're going to work on all of your dreams, and I can trust you that you're going to always be actively doing that. But also, when you get to our stage of life of empty nesting, yes, which I'm almost there, September's been there for a couple of years, then I think you can blend or roll right into just continuing.
Well, I think
because you're not as lost.
I think it's never too late. I remember several years ago, when Callie moved back, we were at a doTERRA conference of some sort, and they asked us to write down our dreams or who we were or something like that. And I remember this. Yeah, and I turned to Callie and I was like, I don't know what my dreams are. All my dreams were for my kids. Like I have wrapped myself up into dreaming for my kids and telling them they could accomplish. And like I always say to my kids, anything you want to do and anything you want to accomplish, you can do. You can find a way. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have those for myself. I went back to school. I got my aesthetics license. I started my own business 8 years ago.
Got on the dream. I got on the dreaming.
But I kind of put that on hold. So it's never too late. I mean, I had for many, many years did marathons. I did triathlons. Those were my goals, but dreaming bigger for myself, I kind of put that on hold for a minute.
Well, can we just say those were big dreams? I mean, yes, they were big, but I've never run a marathon. To me, I would be putting that in a huge dream category. So it's all perspective.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because you're not maybe giving yourself enough credit for some of the things that you were doing while because, I mean, I did a couple of triathlons that were sprint triathlons, and they're in my big dream list.
That's awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Me,
couldn't catch me sprinting.
You would think I've done an Ironman.
Yeah.
I think about it.
Yes.
It's all perspective. You're always going to find
because I think about Katie's done so many. She's done like 50 milers and tons of those marathons.
Yes.
And I'm just like, wow, I can't do that. So it's just perspective.
Which is why you have to look at when you're sitting next to Cailee, you have to be inspired, because if you're not inspired, you just feel like an idiot.
Yes. But there are some things I look at someone and I'm like, I love that for you. I don't want to do that, but I think you're freaking awesome that you did that.
Yes.
So
That's like mine. I love that for you, because not everything's for you.
Yes.
So you might be inspired to action because you want to do it, or you might just love that for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've definitely got some things like that where I just sit in awe at some women that's like, I love that for them. I could never do it.
Yeah. I don't want to.
love celebrating their success.
Yes.
Because what they're doing is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
My friend Rob Patel, who I threw a party for because I love what she did. She started a clothing line.
Oh,
and
wow.
I know. And she went to Paris Fashion Week with her clothing line. I know. It's like, wow, that's amazing. It's so fun. Like seeing what she's posting in Paris Fashion Week when she came home from Paris.
Yeah, it's huge.
Paris soiree here in the pool house, and just we celebrated her because I was like, I want to hear all about it.
Yes.
Like you don't want to be jealous because that doesn't feel good. You want to just like tell me more. This is exciting. What was it like to walk in Paris Fashion Week?
Every detail.
Tell me every detail. And she did. She shared generously with our group of women, all of our neighbors, and just like told us the great stories of doing that. Cool thing. I couldn't do that. And I don't have that dream.
Right.
But I love that dream for her. And she's really done it. So anyway, everybody, you want to uniquely be you and honor that. And if you haven't been used to dreaming, like it is the best.
It's actually so fun.
It's so fun. So fun. And this is the time and season to do it at the beginning of the year when it's a reset, you said, fresh start. I think white snow, what do you want to do? What do you want to accomplish? The world is your oyster and you can totally do it. Now you, what are your tools?
Oh,
yeah. You're not
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. Oh boy. I've been so focused on last year's dreams and finishing them. I haven't done.
No, you didn't share those either, too. Of what
Well, I
you've
actually have on
accomplished.
other podcasts, but I mean, last year, some of the big things I worked on was starting this podcast,
Yes.
which I thought about and talked about. Actually, Pretty Sisters was something that we were doing 20 years ago. Well, we were doing it as children. Right. It's one of the original Pretty Sisters that as teenagers we were running around with our sisters calling us Pretty Sisters and, having that fun nickname. And then for a season of life, while I had young kids, we were doing annual Pretty Sister cruises. And we had T-shirts and jewelry and all the things that I want to restart. But then we got so busy with our kids that I was like, what am I doing? I just, sometimes you have to put your dreams on hold. I mean, that's a good lesson that I had to learn. So I didn't let it go, but I just set it aside.
Right.
And then now is the season of life where it's like, oh, I can actually, feels good. It feels right to talk about Pretty Sisters and to talk about, a lot of it was spurred because the Mean Girls show had come out back then. And I hated the title. I was like, Mean Girls shouldn't be mean. I'm not promoting that. I'm not going to the movie. I hate that title. And I do know they have some good messaging. Since then, my daughters made me watch the shows. And that spurred me to action way back then. And then when Mean Girls came out again last year, I was like, there it is again.
It's so bad.
I was so mad at that title and just this message.
It inspired you.
And I did go to the movie as research, and I did hate it, like I thought I would, because I'm like, girls, should not be acting this way. Girls should not be mean ever, ever. There's not a space or time or place in my world where girls should be behaving this way. And so I'm on my soapbox to talk about it. And getting the podcast started, writing the Pretty Sister story and book, and building my pool house, and that's a pretty upper end kingdom and your studio. I call it Callie's Kingdom, and it's really a very kind kingdom that I reign over.
Yes.
And then so now I think next year, in the next 10 years, I do have this really big vision for Pretty Sisters of just bringing more women into this sisterhood and talking about these beliefs that are really near and dear to my heart, and inspiring women to dream and believe in themselves and believe in their dreams, and then to have the tools and the ability to go out and create their dreams. So that, a little bit more of the details because I've brainstormed it with September, but I have all these plans in my head of how that's going to take shape over the next several years and what I want to do with it. So I hope that you'll continue to join me in this Pretty Sister, what do we call it? Journey. That's going to be super fun. Okay, so a lot of my friends are all about that.
Yeah.
And of course, I want to travel. And of course, I want grandbabies and other things too. Okay, so I want to leave you all with just the past and the future, Ted. I want you to think a little bit too now that we have, like, you have a big whiteboard or kind of vision board of so many things. You do need to bring it in a little closer to really have things happen. So now I want to give you the assignment to pick 1 to 3. If it's, I actually love, and I don't know if you girls have done this, but I love picking a word. Like I love just having a word for the year. Sometimes it's
I like that.
but so in past years it's been miracle, or last year the word was success. That's like when I was studying my scriptures, that word kind of got pulled out from something I was reading, and it was this year in my mind I was just thinking of success, like just success and the things I was doing. And when you have a word that helps you to, when your mind is wandering and you're not feeling, but if you can anchor into a word like that, it helps you to have more belief in what you're trying to accomplish. So I challenge you to pick a word, or it can be a phrase. Sometimes, some years it's just been a sentence, like an affirmation.
Yes.
So pick your word for the year. Study and think about that. Maybe you've already done this at this point. But then, in addition to that word or phrase, pick 1 to 3 dreams that are going to be more in your focus of the year. Like how I shared last year, I had 3 things that felt like the right number. But you want to bring it into some smaller things that now it's just not the 10-year view, but what's on the table for this year. What do you feel about that?
I have mine.
Okay.
That I've been thinking about, and it's 2 words. They're not a phrase, but I couldn't pick. They go hand in hand.
Yes.
And my 2 words are diligence and consistency. And I think that applies to my 3 main goals, which one I haven't even mentioned yet, but was I want to focus on my real estate, focus on my book, and then I really want to get my health back in line because I've struggled with a lot of health issues recently. And I think diligence and consistency goes with all 3 of those to really just it's not going to happen in a day for me. It's going to be a journey this year, and to not give up and every day, be consistent with my goals and my fitness or my medication that I have to take, or just all the different things, and consistent. I have to start posting myself for real estate, which is a big scary thing for me that I don't want to do, but
you said it. Thank you. It's caught on tape. It's a hard, scary thing.
It's a hard, scary thing that I have been procrastinating.
None of us here like to do social media.
Well, it's been something that I've been on my list to do for 2 or 3 months now, that I've needed to start for real estate because I got my license and people don't even know because I haven't put it out there. And it's not something that I enjoy. So consistency and diligence to just do it every day, even though it's not.
Yeah. I think one thing, thank you. One thing to learn, and we've talked about this, is just starting.
Yeah.
I think the hardest part is you think, at least for me, it has to be perfect. It has to look a certain way. It has to all be laid out a certain way. But just taking those first steps to start something, the ball starts to get rolling, and then you become inspired and you start creating different things, and it seems to come together once you put it out in the universe and just start. So I think that's the biggest thing, and that's the consistency, right? Yeah, the diligence and consistency in any goal. Yeah, it's just taking those first steps.
That's absolutely so true. Just starting is a powerful technique. The thing that came to mind is there's a test called Strength Finders that you can take. I know Taylor's taken it. I've taken it, and it's it has a fee to it. It's a really great test that's helping you understand more about you, and it gives you, there's 34 strengths that it's helping you to know and rank them for you. And then you really want to, if you were to take this test, and it's great. I encourage everyone to do this. And it's not very expensive, but it will give you your top 5 and even your top 10, and it gives you all the way to 34. But what the thought behind it, if you do the training and really understand it, is when you know your strengths, you want to lean into those strengths and use those to benefit you, and you'll understand more about who you are and why you are a certain way. But then when you look at the bottom strengths, some people have a tendency to think, oh, I need to work on those because they're my bottom strengths. Like that, I'm not that, so I need to work on that. But that's not really true. When you understand what you're not, it's very powerful, because then you can realize, okay, that's not my natural ability. And you do better to work on your natural abilities and like stay in your zone of genius. And when you realize this is what I'm not, that's what teams are for. That's what friends are for. That's what delegating is for, because it's not your natural gift.
Right.
And so when you said that, some of those things that you like, go back and look at your Strengths Finders test.
I need this.
And look at what your bottom is, because sometimes we don't make progress because we're trying to like be something we're not.
No.
Like consistency's in my bottom, like I think it's like 32 for me. So
I think it was pretty low on mine.
when you see like me not posting consistently or not, like it's
this year.
It's an effort, but I do have people helping me. Right. Because when you realize, oh, that's in my bottom, I need to set up systems. I need to have people. I need supports to help me to do something. You kind of realize I can't be all things. Like we are not all things. We have talents and gifts that are uniquely yours. So it does you a lot of service to figure out who you are. Like the introspection you did this year, Cailee, where you worked on yourself and you got to figure out who am I and what am I good at, and celebrate you and work on you. And yes, thank goodness we're all, there's neuroplasticity. We can learn, we can have a growth mindset, we can change, we can develop. So I'm not saying we can't, but you do have your own unique gifts and qualities. And so you want to lean into those. You want to understand what they are. And then when you aren't something, that's okay. That's what
the people are for.
Support systems up for. You're many things that I'm not. That I've gleaned from that by our friendship. You bring it to the table, and then it makes me a better person. And that's what friendship can do for you. So Taylor, as a mother now, you may not have some of those gifts that you want to develop, but go back and look at your Strength Finders and kind of look at that and figure out, okay, so I'm not these things. How can I still accomplish my goals and dreams, but what do I need help in? Like you might need a gym partner who is consistent. If you're not consistent, who is going to be that person? Like if I were going to run a marathon, I would want September as my partner, because September is somebody who was like, a couple times while we were training for the marathon, we were together.
Yes.
And we were doing, it was the pumpkin patch. We were busy. We were doing like this 3-day pumpkin patch that was tireless, super work, but we still got up early before all of our days of work that we had to do, because she had to go run 5 miles. And so we had to go do that with her. And I ran walk it because I wasn't running 5 miles at the time. I think I did run a couple miles.
There were several times we were together that you did run, though.
Yes, I did. I ran because September's running and she's consistent and she's not going to miss a day. So I was running too. But that's what friends do for you.
She could have just said, I'm going to stay in bed. I'll see you when you get back. And then we'll go to breakfast.
Right. But no, I did ran because I do appreciate that. But you might need to find that kind of partner who will do that with you, because it's not your strength. And that's okay. That's what we're on here for.
Yeah.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, you've taken a good amount of time, ladies.
Yes.
I think we've covered this topic pretty well.
Yes.
Anyone else have any final words that they want to say on this? We're getting our New Year started. Okay. Well, that's a wrap then, ladies. Thank you for joining us today on the Pretty Sister podcast. And thank you, Rose, for being here.
Yes.
It's actually a super fun chat as a mother-daughter little quadruple. That's we're not.
Yeah.
So it was really fun. I hope that you had fun, and I hope that you're inspired to dream, to look at your accomplishments, look ahead at the future, and to pick your word and pick your goals and get ready for a super successful 2025. I hope that for you. Wish that for you. And I know it will come true for you. So again, stay pretty, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.